I'm Sophia, and this is the ultimate podcast for celebrating all things wonderful about our beautiful island. Welcome to Destination Cyprus. Hi everyone, welcome back to Destination Cyprus, a podcast by Cybarco that celebrates all things wonderful about our beautiful island, and that includes people making their mark by transforming lives and communities and changing history on the island. And today's guest is no exception. She's an award-winning, pioneering innovator, a biotech innovator and entrepreneur, and she's also a TED speaker and an empowering leader. Dr. Marianna Prokopi-Demetriades, welcome to our studio.
Thank you very much for the invitation. Pleasure.
It was, do you know what? A mouthful. And one of the reasons why I'm going to hog the microphone for a little bit is because I'm in absolute awe of everything that you've achieved. And it's an honor to have you here with us today, because what you are doing is something that creates a lot of solidarity in our community. It's something that I don't think anybody would say they're not supportive of. So if you don't mind, just very quickly, I want to run through your education and your CV, and then I'm going to ask you very important questions, so watch this space. So you started with school in Greece, which you can tell us more about later, and then you went to the University of Kent to do a BA in cell, cellular and molecular biology, and then you did a master's degree in biochemistry. Then you went to the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine, and you've done an MSc in medical microbiology and bacteriology. Then, I'm going to really give this one a bash, Medizinische Hochschule in Hanover to do nanotechnology. And that's when you started collecting your awards, and you did a training fellowship in mRNA and gene editing, then off to King's College in London for a PhD in cardiovascular stem cell please tell me that word.
Proteomics,
NHS and a JRC Scholar, another award. And then from the University of Cambridge, a certificate in executive education and transformational leadership, and a Cambridge Judge Business School. So that's just the educational side. And then you went to Remedica Limited, and you started all of your research, anti-cancer therapeutics. You became a senior scientist at the Bank of Cyprus Oncology Centre, the director of research, innovation and entrepreneurship at the German Oncology Centre. You did a postdoctoral fellow at the Cyprus University of Technology, vice chair of development committee, parallel Parliament of Entrepreneurship for the House of Representatives, clinical associate professor, research of oncology at the European University of Cyprus. You're an honorary fellow at the Cyprus Business School, and you are co-founder director at Theramir Limited, which I'm very proud to say that I know the Lanidis group of companies is involved in, and you're the co-founder and director and chief innovation officer at ProMed Bioscience, and a co-founder director at RSL Revolutionary Labs Limited. And somewhere in between all of that, you're a TED speaker, a wife, and a mother.
I feel old.
Are you 60? Marianna, when I read through this, I can see a path, and I just got goosebumps. In fact, on my way here today, I was stuck behind a van that had a ramp down at the back, and somebody on a wheelchair was being put on this van. And for the first time in a long time, I just sat there calmly and smiled to myself, because I thought, wow, I have no idea who this person is or where they're going. But instead of being stressed and ratty that I'm going to be late, I'm just going to sit here and show compassion for the guy who's trying to help the wheelchair up the ramp. And when the doors of the van closed, it said German Oncology Centre. And I get goosebumps, because this is so current, it's so topical, and it's touched all of us. And I want to ask you the big question: why?
I think it's all by chance. I was in love with science from a very, very young age. So I always wanted to mix and match different things around the house, outside, in the villages that were going on holidays. But I knew that I wanted to become a biologist for a really young age, around 9 years of age. So I knew my pathway. However, life was really difficult. I lost my mom. Financially, it was a disaster for many, many years. So I had to find a way how I can, accommodate my needs as a person and a future scientist. So I had to work a lot in my life to attend even, the basic university education. For many years, I was taken by, the mystery of biology, all these innovations. At my time, it was an amazing time for gene therapeutics, genomics, proteomics. It was the era of stem cells. So amazing, amazing field. I was very lucky that I was in London at the time, and I was studying together with Nobel laureates. So, it opens up your mind. But I was always trying to find, the area of my specialization. So that's why you see that, I change fields every few years. And then when the disease, cancer, hit in our door, in our home, and whatever you said a few minutes ago, it was a reality for us, a person in a wheelchair twice with my dad and my sister. So I said, all these years of studying, maybe you can put it down and create something with purpose and impact in the community. So yeah, I found my peaceful area of being creative and useful at the same time.
Wow. I've heard you do your a TED speech, and it really, it's gut wrenching, but also so beautiful at the same time that you get to do something that was so close to you and so meaningful to you. And because obviously we've created a bit of a foundation now on the big picture of what you do. But one of the reasons why you're here specifically today, and I know you've been doing the podcast circuit, which might not be brilliant for you, but it's brilliant for us, because I'm all for, influencers. I'm all for people promoting their product, promoting what they do. But to have somebody who's actually spreading the word of something that's so close to home is something of true value. So I'm very, very glad that you're here today. And as I said, you've come at a time when you've had a lot of good news. And I wish I had the knowledge to explain it in a way that would do it justice. So I just wanted to ask you if you could just tell us a little bit about some of the small victories you've had recently.
So it's all about our patent for a novel cancer therapeutic by Theramir Limited. It was just granted a patent status in the US, Europe, Japan, Hong Kong, Brazil, and we are entering other national phases. That's actually my personal baby. I had the crazy idea, I still remember the day, it was 10th of May 2010, when I found an oncoprotein target, and also the medicine that could work on this target. It was in the area of microRNAs. It was very early days for microRNAs. We didn't even have them in our teaching books in the university. Now they are part of the university teaching. So very, very early days. I worked on that while I was in the UK, and then when I moved in Cyprus, there was a pause. I didn't have a university to do, my lab work or another establishment. So we started again from scratch in 2016. It took us quite many years to develop the idea, and financially it was really, really difficult to enter a patent application. It needs a lot of financial support, and it was something that it was missing from what we had created. And to also patent something that you can naturally find it in nature, that's the stem cells, and the microRNAs was a very, very difficult task. So for us, it's a huge win to have one of the first patents on microRNA therapeutics for cancer. This is a platform therapy, so we target more than 30 types of cancers, and especially in the metastatic stage, which is the most important part of the progression of cancer disease.
What does that mean in real terms for people, for Joe Blogs, for the general public? If you can explain that in how it ends up impacting the patient, now what?
So we are in a stage that we finish the preclinical testing. So this is testing about safety, effectiveness in vitro, that's in the lab, and also in small animals. So now we are in the stage that we fundraising in order to do a pilot manufacturing of the drug, enter the IND. The IND is when you ask for permission from either the EMA or the FDA for the final proof of the drug in order to enter clinical trials phase 1, 2, and 3. So we're working with many collaborators from Europe and the US in order to deliver the drug ready for clinical trials. So I think for a scientist, this is a dream come true because, you work for many, many years on an idea and a hypothesis. You enter, the work in the field, in the lab, but it's a dream to see a drug coming in reality and entering the market, and that means entering the hospitals. We are not there yet, but I think the major risk of developing, a hypothesis into a product, we are 80% there. So this is amazing news.
It is amazing. Do you find that you've had the support that you need? Because I know there's always, I don't even want to go to the comparison, but the private and the public sector, it's always been a challenge. But have you been able to pull resources from where you need them here?
Look, we didn't follow the traditional way that these things work. In mainly, you have a great team that they are based in a research center or at the university that you work for many years on, this specific type of innovation. We didn't have that. In Cyprus, unfortunately, we had to start from scratch. We created our own private startup. For many years, we were trying to convince, more traditional investors to invest to us, and it was really difficult. And they were right. We were two crazy people, me and my business partner, Kostas Pitsilidis. No patent, just an idea, no lab, no collaboration. So how you convince people to invest into crazy scientists? So it took us many, many years to get, the first important funds to start what we're doing. But mainly, the 3 F's, I would say, family, fools, and friends. They supported us, even, with small amounts of money. But now people are trusting us. They see, we did everything to reach this step. Now we have people also from Belgium, the UK, the US that they are supporting us. We're trying to create a network because without a network, you cannot reach that stage of success in the biotech field. I feel older than my age. We spent 10-50 years with really hard work, no safety at all, either financial or, professional safety. So, yeah.
Where would we be without crazy people? But this, everybody who's sat in that chair had that moment of breakthrough where you kind of go from being almost searching desperately for the support that you need, and then that threshold where the credibility arrives. So that's why it's so important that we support you with as much exposure as we can, because what you're doing is absolutely incredible. And I have this vision of you sitting in a lab, staring down a microscope. But is that what the job entails now, or are you mostly involved in the business and the funding and all of the rest?
As a person with not one but 3 startups, for many years you have to do everything. In the start, we didn't have money for salaries for other people, not even us. We had to do 3 or 4 different jobs to support ourselves. Then slowly we got people that they are surrounding us, and they believe in the vision. Now, unfortunately, I end up in the office, in podcasts, in presentations, conferences, fundraising, even though I do overlook the innovation and the science. Once every while, maybe every 3-4 months, I'm going down to the lab because, first of all, I love it. Secondly, it's great to teach the younger generation and showcase what we do. There are things that they might not be able to see because of lack of experience. And when I am down, I'm like, they're so excited. So yeah, I'm trying to do a little bit of everything, but not wet lab that much anymore.
It must be, I mean, it's an annoying thing that this is a thing, but the fact that you're a female scientist as well is something that I think is very important for the younger generations to see. That sense of empowerment that you give must be amazing.
We are 85% women
in
all businesses.
Who would think that?
And because for me it was really difficult while I was trying to build my career. I had 2 children, but at the same time I had to care for my dad and my sister. So very, very difficult times. And what I say now in the team is that you have to give space to everyone to achieve that they want to achieve in time, over time. So we have to be very supportive. We are not very traditional with the hours that we are working or a specific type of job. Because science doesn't work like that. You need to, go out there, think out of the box. You don't work 8 to 4 or 9 to 5. It's completely different, and you have to accept that. So yeah, I believe that we have created something unique and inspirational at the same time, but I'm trying to remind them that science is fun. We are very, very lucky to be in this field. Very, very lucky.
That's amazing that you've still got that burning flame. So I suppose that helps as well when you're a mother. So let's shift a little bit to the journey to Cyprus, because obviously you're not from here originally. So how did you wind up on our little Mediterranean island?
Love.
Which Adonis, yes, Adonis turned up.
It's always about love. So yeah, I met my husband in the UK. We were together while I was doing my PhD. So for 3 years, I was abroad, coming, going from Cyprus. So I fell in love with the island, except from my husband. And then at some point, Chris said, okay, enough is enough. I cannot wait anymore. Either you're coming or that's it. So I had to take the very important decision, what to do. And because I'm always very optimistic, I thought that coming in Cyprus would be amazing on my professional career. So yeah, I mean, I found my home here. The people are amazing, and especially in the difficult times with my sister and my dad, everybody helped. I mean, this type of care and love, I didn't find it in Greece or in the UK. Here, I don't know, maybe it's a smaller community. We open up differently. So for me, this is home now.
Oh, that's lovely. I was going to ask you about that actually, because one of the things that I feel quite strongly about is sort of the mental health side of being impacted by something like cancer, because it must be so incredibly grueling. I mean, I can't even imagine what it's like for the patient, because apart from worrying about their health, they're obviously worried about the knock-on effect it's having on everyone around them, which is an extra burden. But for the person trying to be stoic and trying to be strong and trying to be supportive and keep things ticking along, do you think there is adequate attention on the mental health side of things now?
This is a great point that you made, and we had an amazing discussion 2 weeks ago in the conference for the patient associations through PASICAF, how to care about the carers. It's something that we don't think. There was nothing institutional to help. So imagine you have a person that you love that begins the, let's say, the cancer journey. For us, it was an unfortunate end. Both of my dad and my sister, we lost them. So you have all this emotional turmoil to take care of them. Financially, there were two people that couldn't work anymore, so we had to support them. You have the family and younger children that you have to explain to them what's happening, why it's happening, why in our family. You have to put on, a face that you smile and you are supportive the whole time. And at the same time, you have to care for yourself. For many, many weeks, I had to take off from work, or I was working by their bed in the hospital because actually there was no other solution. There was no service to, pick up the person, take care of them in the hospitals and, bring them back. So you had to take off from work. So very, very difficult. But I mean, we are so organized in Cyprus. We have all these patient associations, friends that, they gave us their houses. They came, lent us a hand of help. My partner Kostas was coming every day in the back of Cyprus Oncology Center with his laptop. We were writing proposals next to Magda's bed. So the doctors there, they knew me, so they were always, very supportive. So people, they actually care, and it matters.
It's that C word has this incredible universal, I don't even know what to call it, this energy around it, that it feels like the worst thing in the world. And I tell this story and I find myself saying, it's so odd to say it like this, but I'll never forget the day when I picked up the phone and I said, my dad had done his PSA checks and his biopsy, and he was trying to tell me that the results were positive without using the C word, right? Because everyone spirals into panic. And I just said to him, Baba, just tell me, is it cancer? And I kid you not, Marianna, as soon as he said yes, and I mean, I know that prostate is, if you're going to get a cancer at his age, it's probably the best one to get. But from the moment he said those words, it was like I switched into this insane autopilot. I drove straight to the doctor. We got the results. We went straight to Nicosia to do the lab test for his Gleason score. And it was like everything just went into tunnel vision. Nothing else mattered, nothing. And I can remember at some point I must have called my boss and said, I'm off. And he's like, no problem, just let me know how he is. And that sense of togetherness, and even in the weeks that followed when we had to do the checks that it hadn't metastasized, I have never felt so bonded with family and friends as I did in that period of time. So it just has this whole ecosystem and sphere of emotions around it that makes what you're doing so incredibly invaluable, because you're right. How do you explain to a child that this thing chose this person, somebody who's a non-smoker, somebody who eats well, somebody who exercises well? The insanity of it is, I think, what really hurts people. It's really like, is it as random as it sounds?
Look, cancer changed your life, not only yours, but everybody around you, especially the family that suffers. It's a very complicated disease. It's not just one disease. It's very, very complicated. You have to take, a look at the genetic predisposition, the life that you had as a person, smokers, non-smokers, medications, viral activations, infections. It's very, very complicated. With my sister, personally, as a scientist, I mean, she was 28 years of age, a non-smoker, very healthy weight. Yeah, it was a puzzle. And to lose her within 2 years, for us, it was unbelievable. So it happens in every single family. And what we have to do in this profession is to not only try and predict well, prevent as well, because I mean, the keyword is prevention. But also try to, give to these people quality of life, because now cancer is not just a disease that we lose people within a year of diagnosis. It's a disease that stays with you. We have people that they live with that for 30 years, 40 years. They have a healthy lifestyle, but quality of life for me, it's really, really important. And this is why we open up the other two companies. So what we do, we try not to only try and find a cure for cancer, but try to provide a holistic solution for these people.
What about palliative care in Cyprus? Does it exist? I'm touching all
yes.
your...
Look, it exists. Unfortunately, when we say palliative care, we mean end-of-life care, and this is completely wrong. Palliative care is, it means that we care for a person so he doesn't suffer, and that doesn't mean only the last few weeks of his life. So we have the patient associations that are doing incredible work. Without them, I think the statistics will be at the very worst position here. However, what we don't have yet is that, as we say, integrative oncology. And this is when you can have, the chemotherapy at your home, at your own, familiar space. When you have a team of people that care about you, and it's not just the doctor and maybe a nurse that they're going to see you for 30 minutes. So you need to have a specialized team taking care of your health, from your psychologist, dietitian, for example, for breast cancer, a breast care nurse, a dermatologist. So, I mean, we are in a very good level of care, but we can make it a little bit more organized, I believe.
Yeah. Always room for improvement. That's why we're having these conversations, to try and reach not just the stakeholders, but the people who can move things in terms of policy and progress. And I feel as if things are changing, and that's the good thing. I mean, we've changed immensely over the past couple of decades. Your children, are they? I suppose they understand what mum does, but do you think they're inclined to follow in your footsteps?
No way.
No.
I don't know why.
Is it because you're working too hard?
Look, they are both a little bit more artistic and creative than I am. But my son, he's now 9.5. Every few weeks, he's asking me, Mommy, how close you are to find the cure of cancer? Let's say 2027, 2028. So he's proud.
He's keeping you on track.
He's very proud of what I'm doing. And he's always, very conscious of, the steps that we are taking and the timelines and the milestones.
Accountability, Marianna. He wants to make sure you deliver.
And Irena, my daughter, is now 12, and we have discussions with her about, the status of women in countries like Cyprus and Greece, Mediterranean, and, that she has to be proud of what we can achieve and to push each other. And so I think we have a great relationship. Yeah.
Oh, that's lovely. And you must have a lot of support from your husband as well.
Yeah. I mean, he's my rock, but also my parents-in-law. I mean, his mom, instead of saying, just stay home, take care of the children, your family, he was like, when she realized that I really do in my professional life, he was like, I'm here for you. Don't worry about the children, who is going to pick them up. I'm here. So for your mother-in-law to support you like that, I think for me was the key.
That's amazing. Because, I mean, obviously things have changed a lot, but there was a time when in Cyprus we were still way behind on perceptions of a woman's place in the home and what she should be doing. And now we're finding that, you know, some of the top professions, top positions are filled by women, which is right on time, almost on time for the 8th of March. We're a bit early. So, yeah, I mean, it feels like this is a bit of a breakthrough. What's next? Because there's so many companies. I suppose, do you have like, obviously different business plans, different strategies? So you have to split yourself into all these little parts. And what's the next big thing on the agenda?
So for Theramir, we are moving now into production of the drug, as I said, and hopefully in the next 2 years, we're going to be ready for the first clinical trials. With ProMed, we are in the field of regenerative medicine. So we are working with medical grade collagen for bioprinting of artificial organs, for wound management and tissue regeneration. So we are suppliers for companies that they are FDA approved, and they are working with medical devices. Now we have very big contracts with companies in Korea, and we are entering the US market as well. So that's huge. And even though we created a manufacturing facility in Agios Athanasios in Limassol, now we have to expand because our capacity is expanding as well. And with RSL, we created mainly in memory of my sister because she had a lot of skin side effects from the cancer treatment. So we are developers and also manufacturers of dermaceutical products in order to alleviate the skin toxicities that you might have from cancer treatments. But we also expand in other diseases like diabetes, burn victims, because we have many professionals, healthcare professionals, that they're trying the products to their patients and they have amazing feedback. So we started by having a cosmeceutical line in the market. Now we upgrade into medical devices. We did the clinical trial as well with the German Oncology Center with amazing results. So we improve and upgrade our products. We have synergies with the companies in projects that I will never think about. So now we are working on malignant wounds. These are the wounds that the cancer breaks the skin and it's exposed. So there is no solution for that. You have patients that they have holes in their skin that the tumor is exposed. They cannot remove it. The wound doesn't close. So it's very difficult to cope with this. So all 3 companies now, we are developing a new product with the idea, the anti-cancer properties of Theramir's drug, the collagen from ProMed, and the all natural extracts that RSL has to provide one of the first solutions for unhealing malignant wounds. So it's, for me, it's very important to listen to the needs of, I will not say market, the needs of the patients, but also the needs of the healthcare professionals. We have doctors that they don't have the right tools to treat the patients. So for the, let's say, innovator to be in the field and listen to the needs, it's incredible what you can create.
Gobsmacked. I mean, the thing is that listening to you speak, there is no end. It's not like you're just going to say one day, well, I'm done with these 3 companies. I'm just going to focus on funding now, because there's always going to be new needs, new things to do. And I can see in your face that it's exciting for you because you're part of this evolution. And that's amazing to see. Like, you honestly,
I love what I'm doing. I love it.
Look at your face. It's just like, wow. How important do you think purpose is in work?
For me, it's number one. Number one. I mean, I lost all my family. Everybody's dead. So you might be the next one in a few years. So what did I leave behind me as Marianna? I mean, I studied for so many years, 11 years of studies. I was working at the same time. I spent 15 years of my life trying really hard to establish what we have created here in Cyprus. For what? just to, to have a few zeros in my bank account. It doesn't work like that. And especially when you are in a startup, I mean, we are not in the AI or you're not making money fast. You might never make money. So it's not about that. Success for me is to have an impact to the community. When a person finds your email and sending you thank you emails for what you have created, or because we are a phone call away, they're sending you pictures of the burnt skin after a week, and they say, "Unbelievable, Marianna, thank you so much," and they don't know me. So for me, this is the reward.
That's amazing. Oh, goodness me. And that's obviously part of your values. It's part of the person that you are. Where do you think that came from?
Difficult question. I don't know, maybe because I spent most of my life with my dad. My mom died when I was 9. And he was always trying to push us. You have to study a lot because as a woman, you have to be independent, first of all. And, this is your check in your hand. Whatever happens to your life, you're going to always have your degree. And he had a very difficult life. He died young as well. So he was always trying to, to give us the correct values, that you have to create something useful. And as my husband says, that you are happy when you're useful. In whatever you do, you might, cook for your family for dinner, or,
Service,
give a
isn't it?
call to a friend that is not feeling well, smile to somebody that you don't know and you can feel that has a bad day, make a joke in, let's say, fundraising meeting, whatever. I mean, I don't like to put, different faces. I'm trying to be original and authentic.
Which you are. But yeah, a life of service. It's such a beautiful thing. And it's interesting how so many people come to it so late in their lives. So it's beautiful that you came to that at such a young age, because you were able to put it to good use and to make an impact. And we're all very, very grateful and thankful to have you in our community, definitely. But the ripple effects on the world at large are huge for anybody involved in science and in what you're doing. So overall, are you feeling optimistic about the future of science?
I'm always optimistic.
Look at you.
Yes. I mean, we are in a very good era now. I'm sure that we have to push for personalized medicine. This is the key, to personalize solutions for everybody, because everybody is special and different.
Yeah.
So we have many tools now in our hands, from equipment, the help of AI, that in science we need to spend more time and work on this. But life is easier. It's more difficult because we live in Cyprus and we don't have an extended biotech ecosystem. So for us, it takes more time to bring the solutions in the market. But slowly, we are creating a very nice momentum. Tech Island helped a lot. People like, the Doers Festival, the Reflect Festival. We have many tech people coming to Cyprus and creating startups and technology made in Cyprus. So that will help the whole ecosystem.
I'm smiling because it's chucking it down outside. One of the 365 days of the year that it rains, and it's thundering today.
We need the rain.
This is what they call it, pathetic fallacy. This is the weather reacting to the gravitas of everything you're saying. But yeah, no, totally agree. And we've had Stylianos Alambra on the podcast, and we've spoken to Tech Island as well. And I just love what's happening in Limassol at the moment, this movement towards change. And yes, the doer mentality, which of course most entrepreneurs have, which is fantastic for all of us. So now that we're talking about Limassol and doers, if there was one thing you could change, about Cyprus, what would it be?
Access to other countries. Flights.
Private plane.
It's a solution.
It's possibly, yes.
I would love to see more people creating biotech companies in Cyprus. We have a very large percentage of people studying life sciences either in Cyprus or abroad, that they're coming back and
they leave again.
Or they change completely their life's plans. So I think around 25 to 30% of people studying life sciences in Cyprus. And
that's quite a high.
It's
so
very high.
We need to retain them, basically.
Yes, and at the moment we just have a few hospitals, a few research centers, and maybe 5 biotech companies, 6. So it's something that I really want to push into it. That's why we decided to create it, our tech hub in Cyprus, and not go everywhere else. That it will be, cheaper for production and cheaper to create our products.
Well, it's important for us to have ambassadors for change like that, because we need people who are able to explain what they're doing with the kind of passion that you have, so that things can adjust slowly, siga siga.
Siga siga, yeah.
Marianna, what 3 words would you use to describe Cyprus?
Love. Peace and home for me.
Love that. When it ends with home, it's always a nice note to end the conversation. Marianna, you're an inspiration. Thank you very much. I know people will say this a lot, but like you said, there's so much truth and authenticity and passion in what you're doing, and you are changing lives and you're transforming communities and the landscape for Cyprus in your field. So thank you very much, and all the very best with the upcoming challenges, which I'm sure you're ready to take on.
It was a pleasure being here. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And everybody, I know there's so many companies, but we'll put all the links at the bottom of the podcast on YouTube. And don't forget, you can also find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well. Thank you so much for joining us, and see you next time for another episode of Destination Cyprus. Destination Cyprus, brought to you by Cybarco.